Hello, I believe I am live. However, the camera has disappeared on me. Okay, I think I'm back. Hello and welcome. This is the Stress Management Workshop series for Leeds Beckett University, and this is actually week number 17. It's been 17 weeks we've been doing this together, and yes, it's been quite a crazy journey for most of us when it comes to going through this whole pandemic, the lockdown. But I hope you're okay. I hope you're feeling well in yourself. And yes, are you actually back into a routine? There's been a lot of people who have gone back into work. If that's you, raise your hands, let me know. How have you found it? Now, we're not obviously fully back to normal, whatever normal is in terms of how you perceive what normal is, but yeah, we're still week 17 of a lockdown. It's a semi-lockdown, and the schools, or in my area anyway, they finish up on Friday. So I have a little boy, he's 4, Oscar, and we decided to keep him off. So he hasn't actually been to school since February, and yeah, his first day back at school will be September. So there's been so much going on. So in my eyes, I still don't feel I'm experiencing a normal lifestyle, but it might be different for you. And this is where today's workshop is going to come into play, because I've done things that have, that you can consider as being normal in recent weeks, or the last week or so, i.e. going to the shops. So this is what today is going to be talking about. Ways to stop worrying about what other people think, because I don't know about you, but my experiences going to the shops is completely different to how I used to remember it before lockdown. But anyway, thanks for joining. If you can hear me, again, say hello, press the like button. Not so much a practical element today. I'm just going to reel off some tips, some pointers. But if you want to, as always, you can go grab a pen and paper. And I'm just going to recap over the last few weeks. I'm not going to go through all of the last 16 weeks because we're now week 17, but all these stress management workshops all do actually have a practical element. So it's all instructional. It's basically personal development, and I want you to be guided through these workshops if you are, or think you might have been struggling at some point during this pandemic with the negative impacts of stress. Now, people experience stress in many different ways. It's not a one size fits all. I've been saying that every single week, and it's been quite a generic workshop each week because, again, I don't know anything about your situation. We've all been experiencing this pandemic in so many different ways, and it's all about you just maybe going down to the description below of this video and maybe just finding a workshop that resonates with you, with how you feel right now, because the experiences have been so different, as mentioned. I mean, you could have been working full-time at home with kids. You could have been working throughout the whole pandemic, and you feel your lifestyle hasn't really changed. However, you feel stresses at work because work has changed due to implementing different measures to be safe. Or it could be that unfortunately you've lost your job. I know there's a lot of people right now who are being told by the companies that they have been working for that they cannot continue keeping them on their books. So it's just it's been such an era, hasn't it, to live in, and my heart does go out for everyone who's been experiencing stress. And I always suggest, if you go back to week number 1, if you are still feeling a little bit anxious, stressed, or you don't know where to turn, or you just think that maybe I'm just gonna take stock and just be mindful and just see where you are, ping back to week number 1 with the Are You Stressed assessment. So it's a 25-part type questionnaire, and anything over 14 points will tell you that you need to start implementing change into your life, because if you leave stress unchecked, that's when you can have problems with stress. And the thing is, with stress, you don't just wake up and you think, oh, okay, I'm one of those stressed out people. It really is such a subtle thing, and when you're taking on so much responsibility, or you're dealing with constant change, or you're being in an or living or experiencing an unhappy environment, or you're not where you want to be due to X, Y, and Z, then it ends up being your new normal. And then after a while, you just get used to taking on negativity or change or whatever it is that you may not like at the moment. We've all got that inner dart, our inner intuition. And if you know you're going to a job, this is even before the pandemic, if you know you're going to a job you just don't like, but you're going into work because you have to, due to the bills, due to the kids, due to you know, supporting your lifestyle, whatever it is that you have in your life right now, but you know deep down it's not fulfilling you, it's not making you happy. That is a very prime example of like you need to make change. But I know it's hard. It is really, really hard, and it's definitely not an easy thing. And us humans, we do like routine and we find comfort, and we actually have quite a strong identity to things like our jobs, careers, and our current setup. And it can be hard to make change, but it can just be like the smallest and simplest of things in order to overcome these little niggles that you might come across on your daily basis, in your daily life, sorry. So I'm obviously worst case scenario. I do feel partially qualified to be talking about stress. A few years ago I really did experience severe business burnout, which came from you know, just running multiple businesses, and it inevitably, unfortunately, led to my depression. However, massive wake-up call. You know, things like, for me anyway, the way I interpret depression is like it's a wake-up call. It was my calling to like wake up and change my lifestyle, because I was doing what I was doing for many years, and it just led to this whole like poof, bang, and I was completely wiped out. And if any of you have gone through things like burnout before as a proper medical condition, it's such a hard place to come out of and get back to your optimum health. I did it without the help of you know, medication or anything like that. So all natural resources, cardio, strength, balance, good nutrition, which I'm an absolute massive fan of, and this is what I suggest and have been suggesting in all the previous weeks of the workshop series. And Leeds Beckett University caters so well for implementing these 4 natural resources: the cardio, strength, balance, and good nutrition. So if you haven't, if not already, we're now week 17, haven't checked out any of their classes yet, I recommend to check out as many as you can. You know, give yourself a challenge if you wanted to, and really start looking after your health and fitness. And Leeds Beckett University and their fitness schedule can help you do that. But yes, back to the original points. Go back to week number 1 with the Are You Stressed assessment. Anything over 14 points, don't be too alarmed, because when I first filled out the assessment a few years ago, I was a good 23 out of 25. But if that is you and you are scoring pretty high, you don't know where to turn, the next step would be, if you are over 14 points, go through the other titles of the previous weeks, draw whatever you want to, whatever value that you want to from those workshops, and just keep on implementing the small changes. So it can be things that are so small, on a real small scale. If you're not active, try and do 1 class a week, or maybe go for a walk or 2 a week, like just small changes like that. If you're experiencing aches and pains, maybe look into incorporating strength-based classes into your week, because obviously if you're feeling fit and healthy and comfortable in your own skin, everything else in your life just will feel so much easier, because you're not having to worry about your physical pain. So I do find strength is a really, really important resource in your life to really look out for. Balance is quite a generic thing, but balance really is about learning to love yourself. It's self-love. It's really honing in on how you feel. So when you're stressed out, there's basic chemicals that are released in the brain, and that's a very natural response. You get that fight flight reaction. For example, if you're crossing the road, you see a car, you get that instant adrenaline rush, and that helps you move out the way, and obviously it saves you. But we can actually get addicted on those chemicals that are released, and leading quite a stressful type lifestyle. And if I can actually refer to before the pandemic, most of us are leading stressful lives, and without realising, a lot of us are addicted to that stress in our lives. And there could be good stress and bad stress. So for those who have ever planned their wedding day, I've been there before, that's a good stress. Anyone who's planned a big holiday, round the world trip, or a road trip in a different country, that is considered as good stress. Going to the airport, I think that's the top 3 out of like the most stressful things to do in your life, over grieving, and the second is moving home. So There can be good stress and some bad stresses, but I'm talking about everyday stress here. And obviously, the pandemic is a very prime, very current example of how every one of us has been forced into this change, this situation. And for those who have never actually experienced stress before, maybe you had a very chilled out job or lifestyle, but now you've been forced into a different work role, or you realise that having kids full time at home with the ages that they are, instead of them going to school, has been stressful. Again, I don't know where you are with your lifestyle. So again, these workshops have been offered in a very sort of generic type sense, but you can draw a lot from them. So ping back to week number 1, that's the most important, and then go through to another week. Check out the title, see what clicks with you, see what resonates for you, and then you can go from there. But if you need any help or any questions that you want answered or anything else that I can help you with, I'm always here. Just reach out. I'm here on Facebook. So ways to stop worrying about what other people think. Today's workshop. Now, yes, I've just let on that I've actually found going out now, shopping, quite stressful. I actually had someone do my weekly shops throughout the full lockdown, and it's only been the last couple of weeks I've actually gone shopping myself. And yeah, I've got the mask and I've got my awareness and I've got my wits about me, but I have found it quite stressful. Have you? And you end up looking at everyone else as well, and you've got these judgments that you put on other people, and it's not because you're a judgmental person usually by nature, but I think it's all the conditioning that we've had over the last 3 to 4 months. It's all starting to rub off. Now, I've never ever been a fan of the news. Hands up, have you been, or have you not been a fan? Let me know. But when the UK daily briefings were on, I was watching religiously every day at 5 o'clock. Well, not so much on the TV, because I don't actually have a TV. I don't like TV. I would watch it live or as a replay online in the evening. And yeah, when you've gone from not watching news for many years to then watching the news again, you could actually see, or I could see, my behaviours change, my way of thinking change. But I felt I had to keep myself in the loop when it came to being up to date with current trends and delivering these workshops. So I had a bit of an invested interest into watching these daily briefings, and also just to make informed decisions when it came to my son, and deciding whether to send him back to school before the summer holidays. And I chose not to, and I think because of watching the daily briefings. I mean, obviously there are just like many places on the internet where you can get your information, and whatever your conspiracy theories are, whatever you believe in, whether you're pro-government or whatever, I don't know. Again, I'm not here to talk politics with you, but I just thought the best thing for me to get updated and to keep myself informed would be through those daily briefings. So when I'm out and about, I certainly did have a very heightened awareness, a very heightened alertness when it came to how I am and how I'm perceiving myself to myself and to others. So full on face mask, and very conscious of washing my hands, and yeah, you could say textbook public person, doing things as recommended by the government. But it has brought on this really weird sort of stress, and I do not enjoy shopping at the moment. And as again suggested, we are encouraged to only go out if essential. But when you have a 4-year-old and you've been stuck in for months and he hasn't been going to school, and you do just need to go out sometimes, and we are encouraged to slowly go back in and lead some sort of normal life. So, but I have noticed this stress creep up, only when I'm out though. I mean, I don't enjoy going out at the moment. Again, let me know what your experiences are. This is actually taken from Psychology Today, so I'm going to read some of it, if not all of it. It depends how I feel, but let's just start you off, just to start off this workshop, ways to stop worrying about what other people think about you. So, to feel accepted is a nearly universal human desire. After all, we evolved to survive better in groups where fitting in and having the trust and respect of our peers are the measures of success. The need to belong is in our DNA. So we all have this urge, we all have this real strong feeling that we must impress everyone, that we care about what people think. I do have people in my life that I've just always been in awe with, and they just somehow, they don't give a damn about what people think about them. And I'll just think, how can you do that? I think you either care about what people think or you don't care what people think about you. And I think that's a skill that you must learn over time. I mean, I'm 37, I'm learning quite thick and fast actually that, you know, when you get to your sort of mid-30s, you actually start caring less and less and less. And I think my business experiences as my business owner, that also helps as well. You've got to grow some sort of like thick skin, especially when you're online doing things as well. So yeah, but I have always struggled, I think, to a certain point, especially when I was first spinning. When I first had my indoor cycling studio in Shanghai, China, I set up in 2012. I really did care about what people thought about me on the bike, and you know, with good reason, because you want to be great at your job. I mean, I'm like nearly 8 to 10 years into spinning in terms of my spinning career, because I changed career directions about 8-10 years ago. You know, right now I just do it because I love it, and I've realised that people enjoy watching me and get instructed by me because I enjoy it so much, and I really see it as an absolute cool hobby that I do, and I obviously feed off the crowd who come, and it's nice to keep fit as well, doing something that I enjoy. So that's how I see it now. But before, I was spinning to create a business, to set up something that was amazing for the community, and it's still running today. I sold it to facilitate moving back to the UK. I don't have that particular studio or studios anymore, but it was great. But I really did care about what people thought about me. But I think I realised then, I was very aware, because I think it was just making me stressed out then. And those feelings are starting to come back, you know, that whole, like, what do people think about me and how I'm carrying myself off. So, you know, we're starting to bring back all those memories of when I first was on the bike, when I'm picking up a loaf of bread now. It's really, really weird. You do feel the beady eyes on you. And then when you go out with a small person, i.e. for myself, I'm going out with Oscar, a 4-year-old, you know, I'm not always needing to hold his hand. He's very, he's a very good behaved little boy when he's out. But now I'm just like, you know, Oscar, come here, come here. And it's tough for him because, well, he's adapted to it really well. But when you're not only thinking about yourself, but you're also being aware of how you look being a parent with a small person who just wants to be free and, like, you know, touch things and, you know, look at everything and ask all these questions. It's not running off, I'm not saying that, but yeah, it's exhausting. It's not a very nice, pleasant experience that I find right now. Again, let me know what you think, but yeah, it's all within our DNA. We all want to be, we all want to feel accepted and be part of something. But sometimes that need takes centre stage, and what others think about us takes on more importance than what we think about ourselves. Now, that is the key. So obviously this reverts back to the little mini story that I told you about how I felt when I was on the spin bikes when I first started my business journey. Because I wasn't spinning at the time for passion reasons or fitness reasons. I was doing it to, you know, make money, to make sure my business venture got off to an awesome start. So I really did take on board what people thought. So if you feel like it's actually taken over, that's when you need to stop there and start being more aware and, you know, maybe changing your thought pattern. We may analyse each other and look for clues that we've been judged and found acceptable or lacking. Someone passing in the hall without saying hello may leave us red-faced and convinced we don't deserve notice when the catchers come in. We may people please, always putting others first, which leaves us open to being taken advantage of while we chase praise. Now, again, I can relate to this story. I'm going to be very open here, transparent. I always thought if I didn't make a very good first impression to the spinners that were first coming into our new business at the time, back in 2012, I felt I needed to wow them again on our second meet, which is just daft. Again, this is just anxiety that I had in my head, feeling the stress of running the business and just really having or giving a absolute, you know, crap about like what I was doing, because I really cared and I really wanted the business to launch. But, you know, it would be like silly mindful games that just takes up too much energy, just always having to please other people. Not so much people in my normal day-to-day stuff, but obviously on a business note. But again, drawing back to this idea of like, when we're going out now, it's like you have to please other people. You may not even think the COVID-19 virus exists. I know there's circles out there. You might think that, oh, it's never going to happen to me. You might think that, whatever you might think, I don't know. There's loads of, I've heard, I think, all the stories going. I think we all have heard other people's interpretations of this pandemic. But again, you might think X, but you have to perceive or carry yourself off in a different way to please other people. If you're waiting in the queue, you may not think you might get COVID-19, but you need to be aware and please that person next to you. And you probably are aware of what I'm going to say and relate to this, but there are slight attitudes out there or behaviours out there that have never been out there before, because we're all trying to muddle through this together. Like, we're practicing social distancing. I mean, we don't have to do it to the T. And we've all done it. We've all just been in a shop and we're not even had our masks on, or you might have gone out and not even taken your mask with you. I mean, I think from next week it's all going to be compulsory, but it's just going to be like now taking your phone out, taking your purse out, take your mask out as well. So all this stuff that we have to remember, and it's probably adding to the anxiety and the stress, I think. Where was I? We may exhaust ourselves trying to be cool enough, hardworking enough, attractive enough, or successful enough to feel valued. What's behind this anxiety about being liked, and why are some of us so much more vulnerable to it than others? In many cases, this is a type of echo from the past. At some point in our lives, something or someone may have made connection and affection seem conditional, something we have to fight for and don't really deserve. A sense of shame develops as we are inevitably fall short of perfectionism. And basically the article keeps going on about perfectionism, even though perfectionism doesn't exist. And this all relates to maybe why you might be on one end of the scale when it comes to, do you really care about people, what people think? Because I know in my life, there are people that just don't care at all, and the people that really do care. And I've certainly been, I think, the low end of the scale, like a people pleaser. Don't ever be a people pleaser, but if you are a natural people pleaser due to your upbringing, due to who you are as a person, you can learn to harden up to that as a concept and move towards the other end of the spectrum. So this article here from Psychology Today just gives you interpretations or ideologies as to why you might feel that you need to be in character when you're out and about shopping and pleasing everyone. But at the end of the day, just please yourself. Obviously wear a mask, but try and avoid the stress of it. And I must admit, I've felt that uncomfortableness of I'm not doing what I should be doing, which is quite quite an experience. I'm hoping this all just blows over pretty soon, because I think everyone's now sick and tired of talking about it. So basically, creating a new mindset. If you are going out right now and you are just consumed with the stress, anxiety and the negativity, because you could be like me as well. I'm quite sensitive. I can feel people's negativity. So if you do feel there are people in the queue with you that have attitude, or they're not being very aware, and you can't obviously blame anyone for not being aware, because it's not in our nature to be socially distanced. We're practicing, aren't we? This is really a human right that we all have that's been sort of modified for now. If you find yourself quick to judge, because we've all done it, then maybe take a step back and just create a new mindset. We're all in this together. There's no baddies out there at all. It's just everyone trying to muddle through to get through this pandemic together. But it is all about creating a new mindset. If you recognise that you are someone who's anxious about being liked or being seen to be doing a certain thing when you're out in public right now, there are steps that you can take to get back to a healthier relationship with others and with yourself. So if you want to start enjoying those trips out to the supermarket whilst you're buying your commodities, then these are the things that you can do. You can apply it to today's current climate, the pandemic, or you can apply them if you are just naturally a people pleaser and you do really care about what people think. So these can be transferred into whatever situation. There's going to be 8, so if you want to write these down quick, then feel free. But Number one is keep things in perspective. At the end of the day, just mentioned that we're all in this together. We're all learning, practicing, and we're all trying to get on this whole new lifestyle. So there are going to be people that are going to be, you know, maybe not to your type of liking when it comes to the approach of how to deal with the pandemic when you're out and about. But just try and keep things in perspective. You have no idea their journey. They have no idea your journey. So let's just, again, try and change our outlook when it comes to this pandemic when you're out and about shopping. Question your thinking. Again, if you are just quick to judge someone because they're too close to you, or maybe you can, you know, transfer this to another type of situation you've had before in your life about caring what people think. Just question it. Where does it come from? Does your judgment come from the amount of media you've consumed, or it could be what someone's told you, or you're taking as someone else's opinion? Just question your thinking. I mean, again, there's no baddies out there. We're just all in this together, trying to muddle through and get through it the best we can. Number three is a bit of a tip here, is let go of perfectionism. I mean, we just have to realise and let go of the fact that there are going to be people out there in the pandemic who are not going to be too aware of what to do. I remember when I first went to, I bubbled up with my mum down south, so that was a couple of weeks ago now, whenever the green light was given by Boris Johnson, and I went to Hemel Hempstead with my mum to do a bit of shopping, well, browsing really, just go out for a coffee. And I found myself just not even being aware that there's going to be like markings on the floor, on the walls, or signs everywhere, because you just got so much going on. When you're shopping right now, it's just like you're taking on everyone around you. You're trying to keep your mask on. You're trying to find out what you should be doing. And every single shop you go into has their own set of rules as well. So it's just going to build up, well, for me anyway, it did my first outing, built up all this anxiety, and I did feel it all bubble up within me, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't enjoy it at the same time. It's nice to be out and feel, in inverted commas, normal to be out on a Saturday going to the shops, but yeah, it was definitely an experience I won't forget in a hurry because of that feeling of stress and anxiety. But let go of perfectionism. There are going to be people out there who are not going to be doing things how you might do things when social distancing. So number four, not so much you can refer this to the pandemic, but get to know yourself. So again, this is just a practice of being aware, and like with anything about these workshops, being stressed, having anxiety, feeling depressed, low moods, being ratty, erratic, being just off key, whatever it is that you might go through, it's all about taking a step back and going inwards and finding out what is going on, why are you feeling that way, and it's all about getting to know yourself on a really personal, deep level in order to navigate yourself your way through stress to get through to the other side. Another way is to find your tribe. If you've been if you've been in isolation, very tough that you have been. I know how you've been. I've been in isolation like most of us have, and with a 4-year-old, so you can say I haven't been on my own. However, it does feel like you are on your own, because it's just it's not your normal type of lifestyle, is it? So find your tribe. That also alleviates these feelings, these bad associations that you might have with people, you know, putting a judgment about, you know, what they might think of you. You just need to try and build a bit of a protective bubble. And if you're within a crew, within a tribe, within a group that really get you, who understand who you are for your quirks or whatever it is your personality is, then that will make you feel so much better, and that would actually protect you against what other people might think about you. Number 6 is allow yourself to be vulnerable. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this because, again, I don't really agree. This is, remember, taken from Psychology Today. I think that really meshes in really with number 5, find your tribe, and also number 4, get to know yourself, but allow yourself to be vulnerable. I think that opens yourself up to other things, especially when you're not good at taking judgment for other people, because it's not nice, it's not kind. It's like you need to build some sort of armour or shell around you in order to safeguard yourself from those comments coming through. It might just come with age, it might just be conditioned as to why you are and how you feel in this situation. But yes, I don't really agree with that one. But anyway, let me know what you think. Number 7, they've put here is accept a helping hand. I mean, if you are really struggling, again, I'm your helping hand when it comes to stress, anxiety. If these little trips out that we're allowed out to do now with social distancing measures, if it's just adding to your already existing stress, then people like myself are here to help you through that stress and anxiety. So that's what number 7 is about. And number 8 is be your own friend. So if you have gone out and you found yourself quite short with someone, or short with yourself, or short with whoever, or you've just been a little bit out of character because you've been in this sort of situation where you keep being told to wash your hands, to do this in their shops, do that, whatever, just be kind to yourself, and just at the end of the day, you've done your best. We're all practicing here. We're not, used to being in this type of situation, and the whole point of these workshops is just trying to alleviate the stress as much as we can, the best way we can as well. So, and that completes today's workshop. It's been half an hour already, and they tend to fly by. So again, what I would suggest you to do is just to ping back to the previous workshop, see what resonates with you. Always go back to week number 1 if you haven't done so already, and check out how many points you score in the Are You Stressed assessment. Anything over 14 points, then feel free to go through to the other workshops, reach out to me, or keep following me. There'll be other workshops, I'm sure, to follow. And we're nearly at the end, or should I say we're starting to get back into our new normal. And let's just try and continue to look after ourselves and not let stress lead the way in our lifestyles that we lead now. All right then, again, a massive thank you for listening, and I will see you next week.